is that we're going from the wide leg to the skinny leg. This one is from G by Giuliana. And of course, Giuliana Rancic is the woman behind the brand here. And of course, again, we've seen her on entertainment television, shows for years. And the skinny, her jeans, are literally, and I'm gonna be a little bit biased because I love them and these are the jeans that I wear all the time, are the best. The way that they fit, the way that you've got stretch in them, the way that they're cut, it's a great modern cut that's not too low rise and not too high waist. I mean, it is just that limitless possibility skinny jean. And when you can get these at $19.95, I mean, seriously, get both colors. We have them in charcoal and we have them in white. Get both colors. Even if you're saying, well, Tam, I already have some white jeans, I don't care, get these. Because these are gonna fit better than the ones that you have, because if you don't have G by Giuliana Rancic, you're gonna love them. There is a stretch in these that is just unbelievable because these are premium denim. And what that means is, it's a denim that has more body to it. These are the kind of jeans that if you were to see, let's say, a different designer name on the back of them, they would cost several $100s. They're made in the exact same factory. They're made of that same premium denim that you see. You'll notice that these have a little bit of a cute little design detail that you've got along the back pocket. Three little hearts right here, and I'm gonna flip it around and show you the three little hearts on the other side. Just a cute little design detail. In the charcoal, the hearts are red. In the white, the hearts are black, and you've got them in the same placement location. So basically on the left front pocket and then on the left back pocket, all right? Other than that, you don't have any embellishment on these jeans. They're just a great cut and a great fit. And I like that Hope cuffed those at the bottom so that and just to show that you can. And she's got them on with some really cute, sneaks. Really great. If she wanted to pop those on with boots, she could do that. If she wanted to, tuck them in to a high leg boot, she could do that as well. Because they're skinnies and at premium denim and a great fit, the kind of jean that holds its shape, the kind of jeans that when you put them on, you don't have to ask somebody, does my butt look good in these jeans? You don't have to ask anybody because the answer is already yes. Because that's how they were made to fit. They were made to fit you for your shape because of that stretch. And it's not too much stretch. Have you ever worn a jean that was too much stretch and you constantly were finding that you were constantly having to keep them up because they were too much stretch? This is that just enough kind of fit and feel. And I like that you've got a basic jean that really is gonna be a favorite jean, that you would have said, these fit so well, I would have spent a lot more money. You don't have to at this clearance price because these are $19.95. Now let me tell you, there is something a little bit different about these jeans from Giuliana Rancic because she does have other skinnies, and if you look on hsn.com, they're gonna cost more than $19.95. The only reason that these are so low is because these are the jeans that, because of this little heart design, Giuliana made these for our Disney's Alice Through the Looking Glass event that we did a little bit earlier in 2016. And so you've got just that little heart design, sort of the Queen of Hearts kind of look. It's the only difference. It's the only difference between these and the ones that are on hsn.com.